people that exist.
This was the best I could figure out how lighting could be. I know there's giant glare, but this is even worse. But it was this weird challenge or book tag I found, and it might as well do it. This is not the history of my bookshelf challenge tag. It is the bookshelf tag. But there's not that big of a difference. Who cares? Let's just get on with this thing. The first question is describe your bookshelf and where you got it from. The one over there, I do not know. But this bookshelf I think my mom got it from IKEA, and we built it, and now it's my beautiful rainbow fantasy shelf. Even though I'm going to change everything to not rainbow once I'm done with my 3-part bookshelf tour. Well, next question. The second question is, how do you organize your books? This is mostly a rainbow, but this in the blue section does not look correct. It's facing out. But because of that, and this book, Heart of Flames, well, both my Owl Crate and normal editions, I decided that I would stop doing this fancy color thing because it made it hard to, well, it was confusing and those wouldn't fit because I am very particular about this. But this is all fantasy, and then my box sets are up top. Over there on that other bookshelf, I have books that can't fit on top and some others. And then my nonfiction in the next shelves. And then on that second to bottom shelf, I have my sci-fi, other stuff, and realistic fiction. My longest fiction book, which is the next question, or what's the longest book on your shelf is the next question, goes between The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon and Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. I'm not pulling them out, though, because except if you include The Lord of the Rings, then The Lord of the Rings is the longest, but that's like 3 books in one. Actually, 6 books, kind of. But if you include The Lord of the Rings as 1 book, not as 3 volumes, then that's the longest. But the longest book I have is this. The Baseball Timeline. I got it at a Bookman somewhere. And then, yeah, that's probably the longest I have. The next question is, what is the shortest book you've read? Or what's the shortest book you have? And I am not including everything up there because I have some like non-fiction books that aren't like novels. And I'm not sure they're the longest. I know the Baseball Timeline is the longest, but I'm not sure that they're the shortest. And I think the shortest, though, is pretty much... Wait. Sorry. By pages, Horizon Life Raft, only 150. By actual words, I'm guessing, is The Sword Thief by Peter Larangis. It's only 156 pages, I think. Yes, 156 pages. And, yeah. That's that. And that is a long book. The next question is there a book that you received as a birthday gift? And I think that would be the 10th anniversary Heroes of Olympus box set. So I got 5. And probably some other books I received as birthday gifts. Yeah. I don't know. No, I got the fork in the... So, sorry. Back to the question. I changed my lighting to this lamp. Or to my lamp. It's still very much a lot of glare, but this is the low setting of One I changed, like the light bulb. I changed the light bulb out, so it was the low setting. Maybe if I do that, it'll be a bit less of a glare. I don't know. I'm not good with lights. I don't know why I shared that. The next question is is there a book from a friend on your shelf? One of a few is The Devil Thief by Lisa Maxwell. And if you... No. Nothing. Stupid. I'll disappear now. The next question is, what's the most expensive book on your shelf? So, there are a few answers to this. First is The Baseball Timeline, which is $50 sale price, but I did not get it for $50. It was used. So the most expensive I can think of that I know was bought for full price is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. It's giant. And it was $32. On to the next one. The next question is, what's the last book you read on your shelf? And that, for me, if it means book I own on my shelf, is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, which is over that way. But if it means what's the last book I read that is on my shelf, it's Fairest by Marissa Meyer. And right now I'm reading Winter on a Kindle or on an iPad because it's really expensive as a hardcover, especially when you're looking at the deal of 6 books for $44 or $40-something on paperback. So I just got really stressed about it, so we just decided, get the Kindle. So that's what I'm reading right now. The next question is, how many completed series do you have? Or, complete series. I have The Mortal Instruments, The Heroes of Olympus twice, The Lord of the Rings, that's let's consider it 4. And then I have Ranger's Apprentice up to The Royal Ranger, that's 5. The Inheritance Cycle is 6. The Griffin Chronicles, what's out so far, 7. But if you don't include that, only 6. I'm not going to include series that aren't fully out yet, so I don't include the Crown and Feathers series. The Kane Chronicles, 7. The Jinx Trilogy, 8. Percy Jackson, 9. Trials of Apollo, 10. Magnus Chase, 11. And I can't really include that. Well, I have 2 copies of Percy Jackson. Might as well throw it in, even though one is horrendous. So that's 12. Snow Like Ashes Trilogy, 13. I'm here, just hiding. Nothing else that's finished. So that's 13. On my other shelf, I have Pathfinder Trilogy by Orson Scott Card, 14. Horizon series by 5 different authors, 15. Divergent Trilogy, 16. Bloodguard Trilogy, 17. And the 39 Clues, 18. Wow, that's a lot. No, I had that many. Wow. The next question is, what is the oldest book on your shelf? I believe, books by when they were written, The Hobbit, and that's 1988. I don't think that was anything too precious or whatever. Let's see, over here, think the oldest book I have might be this weird Cars book because it ends in like the 1980s or something. So it might be that. Or maybe Ender's Game, that version, but I think that's like 90s version. So I'm guessing it's The Hobbit in both categories. Or maybe in one category, that Motor Cars Compendium. There, that's the word I was looking for. This question is then followed by what book would you never let out of your sight or never let anyone touch? I have like 2. 1, a signed edition of The Black Fortress. It's so beautiful. I read it over the 3 days we had like an extra day off. I read 630 pages in 3 days. And it was still too short. I'm way too excited for the Dragon Lord. Sorry. I'm getting into stuff that no one cares about. This Heart of Flame Special Edition is the other. Even though my normal version of Heart of Flames, it fell once and I was like terrified and I wouldn't let anyone touch it. This thing, I would murder someone. Well, please don't take that seriously. I would, oh, I see what I'd do. I'd attempt murder. No, I wouldn't. I would be furious. The next question is, what is my most beat up book? I am not including my... Well, actually, no, I wouldn't even include those. The Lightning Thief. It doesn't look too bad. Cracked spine, pages, meh. But, let's see, peeling here, and this is taped on, an image I printed, taped on, because it was left on the floor of a car for way too long. The following question makes sense, is what is your most pristine book? I think this copy of Heart of Flames might be, except there's a rip there. Then maybe instead of that, it might be might be this Son of Neptune copy. No one's read it because the last time I read a book, like last time I read this was when I had the paperback. But actually that's a bit bent. It might be my Lost Hero hardcover then. Yeah, I think that's it. The following question is a book that doesn't belong to you. By library books. A book that's your favorite color. Like the cover. I don't know, The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan might do it. But I think the best for that is, no, sorry. This, I think, might be a bit better. This Purple in the Stormrunner by J.C. Cervantes would be really nice. And some of these deep blues, like in the Son of Neptune, that might be my favorite cover. Like, that's beside the point right now. The next question is a book that's been on your shelf for the longest, but you still haven't read it. And I'm only including this shelf and maybe the shelves down there. I think that honor would go to the His Dark Materials trilogy thing. Next is, of all of the books on your shelf, which was the one you read first? Snuggle Puppy by, what's her name? By Sandra Boyden. But, like, on this shelf, like, novels, just wait. Probably Percy Jackson and, probably The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I think Yeah, probably. And finally, do you have any signed books? 2. The Black Fortress by E.G. Foley, original paperback edition, free autographed copy, and Heart of Flames by Nikki Palprito was the Owl Crate exclusive edition. Signed. Those are my 2 signed books. And as you may have noticed, those are also the 2 books I cherish most. That's not exactly the reason I do. Well, and my original Percy Jackson series I cherish a ton. I don't know. In summary, I have a knack for shrugging, but that doesn't matter right now. That's the video. See, I shrugged again. I don't know. Well then. That's the video. Goodbye, people that exist. Well, except if you're a robot, because then you don't really exist as a person. But I believe that you are a person, so goodbye, people that exist. Now I'll just end this thing before I rant for like 5 minutes.